America is at a political crossroads, and the governor races are heating up like never before. From the battleground states of Michigan and Ohio to the Democratic strongholds of California and Massachusetts, every state has its own story, its own surprises, and its own shockers waiting to unfold. Who's leading? Who's trailing? And which races could flip the map entirely? Stay tuned, because today on today's Blueprint News, we break down all the top governor races across the United States, state by state. Michigan has once again become the heartbeat battleground of America. Jocelyn Benson leads at 50.5%, but her advantage is so thin that even a small shift in suburban turnout could reverse the entire race. John James, at 49.5%, has energized conservative rural counties and is aggressively courting Detroit's outer suburbs. The clash here represents two visions: Benson's voting rights-focused governance versus James's business-centered conservatism. This race may stay undecided until the final hours of election night. Arizona. Katie Hobbs is sitting at a stunning 68.2%, a number nobody predicted just months ago. Andy Biggs at 31.8% faces a massive deficit, struggling to appeal beyond his hard right base. Demographic shifts, suburban women, and independent voters are reshaping the state's political destiny. Arizona is no longer a toss-up, it is a political transformation. California remains the Democratic fortress of America. The numbers speak for themselves. 96.2% Democrat, 3.8% Republican. There is no competitive fight here. The real story is turnout. Democrats are dominating not only urban hubs like Los Angeles and San Francisco, but also maintaining stable control in the coastal counties. The Republican presence remains symbolic, not strategic. In Minnesota, Governor Tim Walz holds a towering 90% support. Scott Jensen, at 10%, has failed to expand beyond his conservative base. Walz's leadership during crises, along with Minnesota's strong labor and education networks, has cemented his position. This is one of the least competitive races in the nation.
Florida remains a red powerhouse. Byron Donalds, at 77.1%, is dominating across the Panhandle, Tampa suburbs, and South Florida Republicans. David Jolly, at 22.9%, struggles to carve space in a state where GOP turnout machinery is extremely powerful. Florida continues its shift from swing state to Republican stronghold. Massachusetts has been a Democratic titan for decades, and Maura Healey proves why. With 98.7%, she commands unmatched support across Boston, Cambridge, and the suburban tech corridor. Republicans, at 1.3%, remain largely absent from statewide competitiveness. This race is all but decided. In New York, Kathy Hochul holds an overwhelming 92.5%. Elise Stefanik's 7.5% suggests a race with little suspense. Hochul's advantage comes from NYC's overwhelming Democratic population, strong union backing, and suburban reliability. Republicans continue to struggle statewide despite pockets of support upstate. Ohio tells a story of change. Vivek Ramaswamy leaps ahead with 70.1%, while Amy Acton sits at 22.9%. Ramaswamy's tech-driven economic message and strong appeal to conservative rural counties are driving his rise. Ohio continues trending red, with Democrats losing ground outside Columbus and Cleveland. Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro commands a gigantic 95.7%, a number that signals deep trust across the state. Stacey Garrity, at 4.3%, is unable to break into key suburban counties like Bucks, Montgomery, and Chester. Pennsylvania remains firmly blue in this governor cycle, even as national races remain tight. In Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn holds a commanding 95.7%. Jerry Green, at 4.3%, reflects the long-standing Democratic struggles in the state. Blackburn's hold over conservative evangelical voters keeps Tennessee deeply red. Alabama's numbers show the least suspense. Tommy Tuberville at 91.8%, Doug Jones at 8.2%. Tuberville dominates rural counties, evangelicals, and conservative activists. Democrats continued to struggle statewide despite pockets of African American support. Oklahoma, Genter Drummond commands 95.3%, with Cindy Munson at 4.7%. Oklahoma remains one of the most reliably Republican states in the country. Drummond's messaging on law and order fuels his statewide advantage. South Carolina, Alan Wilson at 83.9% remains in a strong position. Democrats at 16.1% reflect limited statewide influence. Wilson continues to build his popularity through conservative legal activism and strong Republican turnout. Nevada is always unpredictable, but this cycle tilts towards Republicans. Joseph Lombardo at 61% holds a solid lead over Aaron Ford at 39%. Clark County remains Democratic, but the rest of the state, especially Reno and rural Nevada, is pushing GOP momentum forward. In Rhode Island, Helena Foulkes at 85.8% continues the Democratic dominance of Rhode Island. Republicans at 14.2% remain largely non-competitive. Foulkes' support is strong among coastal communities and urban centers. Georgia remains one of America's most influential battlegrounds. Keisha Lance Bottoms leads with 57.2%, but Burt Jones at 42.8% keeps this race competitive. Atlanta's Democratic base clashes with rural Republican strength, a pattern shaping Georgia's new political identity. Expect intense campaigning on both sides. Wisconsin might be the most important swing state on this list. Mandela Barnes leads with 52.7%, while Tom Tiffany stands at 47.3%, a tight race within the margin of error. Milwaukee and Madison strongly back Barnes, while Tiffany performs well across rural counties. This race could set the tone for national politics in 2026. These governor races reveal a nation deeply divided, deeply energized, and rapidly changing. Some states are locked, others are battlegrounds, but all of them are shaping America's next chapter. Stay with us at today's Blueprint News for the deepest data, the boldest analysis, and the fastest updates. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.